What's up, YouTube?
Welcome back.
So today, first of all, subscribe and like below. And comment on if you have any questions on our previous videos, because we will be discussing them in future videos. So that's super exciting.
Right. This is episode 2 of this new attempted format. So we're still working on developing what this setting and scene is going to be. Mm-hmm. Any suggestions? We have no other comments right now, so you get 100% of our attention.
There we go. And today we're in all black because we're about to talk about a really dark movie.
That is, coincidental. That's it. We watched, have any of you seen The Platform on Netflix? I know it's like not super new at this point, but I just showed it to her.
Horrifying. First I sat down and I was like, what are we watching, babe? And he's like, oh, they're just these people in this room. And 2 hours later, I thought I was traumatized for life.
Right.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, give us your hot take.
Okay, so.
Also, potential spoiler alerts.
Yes. Don't watch the rest of this. If you're gonna watch it, right. Go watch it and then come back. Basically, I felt like I had been through, I feel like because I'm empathetic when I watch someone go through stuff, I feel like I went through it. So I came out of that movie exhausted. Basically, do you want to give them the premise of the movie? Can you just do a little recap?
The premise is that there is this prison-like, institution-like concept tower that has an innumerable amount of floors, mm-hmm. right? 2 people per floor, and that's it. You're like in jail. That's your cell. You have your little sink and bathroom, and that's it. And once a day, a platform starts at the bottom or at the top. Starts at the top and goes down level by level, starting with a feast of food. And you get to eat as much as you can for that day before the platform times out and goes down to the next level, where those people have to eat what you didn't eat. So that's already horrifying, right? It's already, without going too into my own analysis of it.
That's the point of this.
It is just such a criticism of capitalism. It is so horrid for the wealth disparity that we live in and the selfishness and lack of community that comes out of this exploitative system, where we're feeding each other scraps indiscriminately. However, every month you get randomly switched to a new floor. Mm-hmm. So you just have to survive the month. But I think we start on floor 60, mm-hmm. right? Or 48.
So but what does it show you about humans that when they switch, they are still as selfish even though they just experienced having nothing? You would think that if you experience having nothing, like the guys finally eventually did, then when you have more, you'd be like, hey, let me try to do something about that because I know what that feels like. But what's interesting is when they try to do that, they go through so many roadblocks. And that's my question is I agree. It's literally that's what the movie is. It's talking about capitalism for sure. That's why it was made. But the question is, we're supposed to be asking each other, what can we actually do about this? Or what should we do about this? And how can we, 2 people just first of all, it's sad that there's only 2. And if you think about the percentage, I believe probably, if you think about it, in capitalism or the countries that are capitalist, the percentage in that movie, which was 2 guys out of 400 people, is about the same as the percentage of people who are genuinely trying to make a difference here against capitalism and against what it's doing and trying to actually help. It's probably about that much. And that's why it continues to be that way. because if they genuinely all went together in on this, they would be fine. They would each have what they needed to eat every day.
Right. And that's basically the premise. Everyone in that tower, in this prison, has had their food laid out at the feast on the platform.
And their favorite food, nonetheless.
It's their dish, right? And it's calorically enough to survive the day, and everyone has their portions and plates already set up. But it starts at the top floor. So to your question as to like why don't they get it? Where's the empathy if you just were at a lower floor? Right. It's because we live in this perception of finite resources and finite pie, which means like you having some means less for me. Mm-hmm. When in reality, the point is everyone has their portion for all floors in total. Yeah. Right? Yeah. From the get-go. Mm-hmm. But the people at the top were like, those people didn't wait for me when I was at the bottom. I'm going to eat all of my food now.
So by the bottom layer, by the way, there's nothing left. So they start eating each other.
Yeah, you have no food at level like 50.
There's nothing left. By level
and
even
there's
100,
over 150
there's
levels.
Yeah. By the bottom, it's done.
Right, and so this shows this lack of empathy and greed that kind of is taken over when we are told that we aren't going to get anything. And that's not the case. Mm-hmm. And it's just really difficult to watch it happen. I think this movie is deserving of several trigger warnings at the beginning. I mean, if you're going to watch
the
it,
whole thing.
Right. I mean, but trigger warning the whole movie.
Yeah.
It is just graphic, it is gruesome, and it is
I was super depressed all night after that.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So, really recommend you watch it.
What can you do, and what are some resources that we can give to help people be, help against what this pattern is that we are literally doing?
Be as anti-capitalist intentionally as we are exerting people to be anti-racist. I mean, the thing is, we in our generation and in our parents' generation were, for the most part, especially white people, all inherently taught racism. And our society has flourished off of generationally teaching racism. Mm-hmm. So your parents taught you to be racist, the way my parents taught me to be racist. Now we have to recognize intentionally what those things were that were ill-conceived of them, unintentionally taught to them by their parents, right? And we have to actively work against it, where now we're seeing this late-stage demise of capitalism that is just blatantly in our face, right? And we happen to live in the wealthiest part, so it is the least blatant in our face. Mm-hmm. And yet it's unavoidable to see.
Right, so some little things that we can do would be like what? Like
recycle.
Well, instead of just going out and buying a bunch of groceries and then you don't use all of them at the end of the week and you throw them away, maybe go out and buy less, or portion more, or give some away to people. Promote. Bless you. Bless you.
Right.
Promote supporting other people, not just living for yourself like you're gonna die tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, especially in this society where we're in Los Angeles, there are tons of people starving.
50,000.
Yeah. So, but in like our lives, we're gonna be fine. I'm not gonna go hungry. So I have plenty to share. So I think that having that mentality is helpful.
Yes. And if we constantly think about the idea that them having something doesn't mean less of us having something, if we can like take that into every interaction or every consideration, or let's be empathetic as humans, that even those struggling here are living in the top 10% of wealth in the world, and we have 7 billion people struggling, 3 billion under poverty.
Yeah.
A poverty limit that is like $1.50 a day, which is just absurd by any fiat conversion.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's poverty. I think that that is like, these people are dead. You know what I'm saying? Proclaimed by the World Bank that they are without capability of being helped. And that just to me shows how abjectly we are treating this human life disaster. Because it could have been us.
Yeah.
Right?
Just by the way we're born.
There's that thought process, which is like, if you could design an ideal world, if you could be born again, but you would randomize where and when and what color you end up being, right? What your background is, what would you pick?
What would you pick?
I would pick a white male in America, for sure. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? But if I couldn't, if I was to be randomized into it, then I wouldn't build the world we're living in now. Because I couldn't specifically tailor it knowing I'm going to get all the benefits of being a white male with blue eyes, right, and blonde hair in America.
But you would create the world differently. You wouldn't create the world.
I would create the world 100% differently.
Right. So they're saying, what would you choose if you couldn't create the world differently? You had to choose a role, a role.
What I'm saying is, people that claim like, oh, this is the best, this is the best there is. It's like, is there? Because if you weren't born the way you were born in America and you had to pick, probability is you're not going to be born here again. And it's not the same system, right?
Wait,
not
but you are saying that it is the best. This is why you would choose the same. It's the best for you.
If this is the system I'm living in,
yeah.
if this is the world that I create, I wish I was.
Yeah, this is the best possible option for you.
For me in this world.
Right.
Yes.
But this is not the best the system could be, just to clarify.
Right. This is an absolute disaster of a situation we're in. And I can tell that because I would pick, if I could, my own skin again. Right? This life I've lived, where I am incredibly privileged and blessed. But I would want to design a world where it didn't fucking matter where I was born or what my parents did or where we all came from. Because we'd all have access. We would all have our portion of the platform coming down with our food.
Yeah.
Now, on that note, and back to the movie, specifically about the movie. The ending is such shit.
It's horrible. It's so bad.
It is meant to be this metaphoric kind of, here we go, Messiah-ish. It's about the children. The children are the message. We're trying to do this for the kids. And yet...
I didn't get any of that. It just felt like a freaking stupid cliffhanger.
Right. And that girl would be dead. Physics tells me she is going to die. She is catapulting herself up fast as fuck, up hundreds of floors. She's gonna die. So this whole message, like, it was nice.
They don't show it to you. They don't show like, oh, the girl made it, and now they're like, oh my gosh, blown away by the message. No. They don't give you anything. It's total cliffhanger. It's horrible.
It's not a cliffhanger though.
I mean, it kind of is, though.
But it
leaves
isn't
you with
because
nothing. You don't know.
No, a cliffhanger is like, I can't wait to learn more.
Well, I want to know what happened to her.
Nothing's gonna happen after. There is no platform
something
2.
should.
There is no
But
platform
they
2.
didn't tell us what happens to her, so it's a cliffhanger.
That's the point. We don't know what happens.
It's
the message
horrible.
is, do this for the kids.
Right.
Fix the system for the kids. They are the reason we should try.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm looking at it from let's take the Hollywood out of this scene. This girl would have passed out from the G-forces, right? She would then be slingshotted against a concrete ceiling, flattened on impact.
Yeah.
It is it's just one of those things where I'm like, I wish I could just watch the movie.
Well, guys, we're going to put some resources and some links and the trailer to the movie in the bio here. So resources and links are actually going to be some percentages so you can see what's actually going on in America and some ways that you can help.
Watch with caution.
That will be, trigger warnings on all of that, and that will also be in the bio. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like below, and feel free to comment on other things or movies you want to hear about or recommend that we watch that are maybe less depressing. Okay, thanks.
Power to the people. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
On that happy note.